there were all these projection of Donald Trump, and all I thought was that we have the same hair color. You know, I was really stressed about coming here tonight because, I didn't know how much I should and how much I could. And you know, these days, it's quite hard to say or to not say. And I thought maybe I should speak about the weather. But even the weather is no longer a funny issue, so I remain with fashion. Fashion is always more of a family to me than an industry. A little bit dysfunctional, but a great family. I love fashion. For years, I felt I was hugging people with my clothes. I thought that every dress I make will be hugging the women that is wearing it. Years later, I received all these hugs back from you, fashion people. So fashion is not just about silicone and Botox and alcohol. It's also about workaholic people. I came to see and to say thank you for the love and support. Imran, where are you? I'm really surprised actually that you invited a jobless and a homeless to the Voices. When I look at myself in the photos, you know, I can never believe it's me because I feel I'm okay looking, but in the photo it's a disaster. And I always blame the camera. I always blame the camera for making me look. One day I realized that it's not the camera, it's maybe the pizza late at night after 16 hours of work. So I went on a diet. And like every makeover show on TV, when you lose some weight, you also become blonde. So did I. I have only 12 minutes, so don't clap and don't laugh. Let me run. When I was actually coming here, we had a little rehearsal, and I was asking the production company, because I know them from Paris, so I had some connections, and I asked them to move the camera a little bit higher so they can erase my double chin. Then I just put that up. And you know, I asked them to actually photograph me like a selfie. I love selfies. But then I was actually wondering, what is it about this obsession of looking good? How about doing good? And how about being good? I love selfies. Well, cameras are changing positions, you see. My silhouette is changing, fashion is changing, my hair color is changing. Fashion houses become fashion brands, brands with trends. Local become global. 1 million is a billion. 30 is the new 20. Intelligence is artificial intelligence. And I don't know if you had like dinner with people around like our industry, but every time I have a lot of time to have lunches and dinners, and the first thing they do is they look around to see who is there and who is listening. And I say, why so much fear and not enough love? I always believe in, this one is reset. I always believe in evolution, in progress, giving the time. I don't believe in revolutions. Revolution photographs well. They're very photogenic. Maybe they don't travel well, and they also don't last long. Now I believe in reset, just like in a smartphone. Shut and reset. Evolution, reset, revolution, maybe different words with the same meaning. I was having a dinner in New York with some friend of mine. My friend's son was playing with Fortnite all night long. We were eating. I asked him, how many people did you kill? And his mother jumped at me and said, he's not killing anyone, he's just eliminating. In France we say, vive la différence. See, different words, same meaning. Speed. There is no industry like fashion. No film studio is capable of producing 8 blockbusters in 1 year. No singer or a rock star can produce 14 hits in 1 year. In fashion, yes, we can. In Hollywood, Netflix and Apple are taking over. In music, we now download. But in fashion, we run. Run, 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 and we lose no calories. My gym coach actually is telling me that I have a brain of an athlete, unfortunately, not a body of an athlete. Homeless. I've been homeless for a few years. I lost everything, my studio, my team, my ego, my dignity, everything. Jack Ma from Alibaba says that the only thing that cannot be taken from a homeless is his brain. I didn't work as a creative director for a few years now. I didn't have a marketing meeting, I didn't have board meeting, I didn't have show meeting or fabric meeting. I actually met myself again. I became a designer. I started to dream and to think. I started working in the streets because they said that fashion is also very streets fashion. So I moved also my studio to the street and I was just looking around. It was lonely sometimes, it was dark at night, and it was hard some other time. And Anna and Susie and Glenda and Vanessa and so many more of those good people in our industry often ask me, so what are you up to, Alber? And I know they care. They were not looking for scoops. But it's another thing when I get into a taxi in Paris during Fashion Week and the driver is turning and asking me, where are you? I don't see you anymore. In my heart, I think, you may not see me, but I can see you. That's my new job. Reset and reassessment. Looking, seeing, and observing. Thinking about what are we heading in fashion? Where are we going? And what's next? When Steve Jobs was pushed out from Apple, the company he created, he said that he felt like a punch in his stomach. For me, it was a punch in my chest. I couldn't breathe. I really couldn't breathe. I was crushed. But I decided, even though I'm a big talker, I decided to be quiet because I'm also a gentleman. Masterclass. Last year, I gave 12 masterclass in universities around the world, from Beijing to New York via London. I wanted to teach, but mostly to learn, to try to understand what's next. I met a generation of amazing kids, inside out beautiful. But the kids were with an overdose of information that came too fast and with no efforts. And I met also many, many teachers who no longer believe someone is interested to listen to them, because nowadays it's faster to download the info yourself. Glamour. Don't worry, I'm going to recycle all of it later. And you can tell that with all this technology, I'm still wearing and using a pen. Glamour. I ask myself, how come technology is taking over glamour? Where are you, Francesca? How does it happen? Well, glamour is electrifying, and maybe electricity is better generated by engineers. They can do it faster and cheaper. But we in fashion, we might be not that fast and not as electrifying, but we remain an industry that creates dreams. We do it with fabrics, we do it with needles, we do it with threads, and we do it with one seamstress. And you know what is the difference between a seamstress and a CEO of a company? Only one generation. The mother may be a seamstress, but her daughter is a big CEO. Google. I was traveling the world, as I said. I met many startup, PhD, engineer, mathematician, many smart people around the world. They were all wearing t-shirts and sneakers. Yes, streetwalks don't always follow catwalks. They were also wearing headphones. They were also looking at the screen, but they didn't really look at each other. I was visiting Google here in London. The ceiling, I don't know if you saw it, gorgeous. The ceiling in the lobby was as high as the building itself, metal and glass, visibility, power, and speed. I love my voice. I felt like a lost baby in this lobby. I was so intimidated. The lobby became a temple. From Google being good, I felt that Google is being good to me. Then I realized the sofa I was sitting at were all in baby pink and baby blue. Baby colors. How bizarre. I was thinking, was it a coincidence or was it all planned? and by who? Later on, I met my friend, the mathematician, the genius. And I asked him about these colors at the sofa. And he said that he's walking by this lobby for 4 years and he never noticed those colors. And imagine, just imagine, if our two minds were working together, mathematicians and colorists, intuition and rationalism, fashion and marketing together, with love and mutual respect. Windmill. In technology, they are building windmills, to go faster and higher. In fashion, we respect tradition, but we also maintain yesterday. In food, like in fashion, there are amazing old recipes, and you can say and see that I love those recipes, but maybe too much butter. I'm not asking to eliminate those recipes, but yes, maybe to cut the butter out and make them healthier, therefore more relevant. In fashion, the clothes are always new, 6, 8, 14 collections a year, new. Thousands of items, bags, shoes, sneakers, bags, hats, sunglasses, sneakers, bag, long dresses, short dresses, sneakers, bags, sneakers, dresses. The products are always new. Screens. In screens, I always see screams. Is it all about provoking? I love Japan actually more than ever because I love the way they whisper. I feel there is a virtual war here, a battle between a system of yesterday and a system of tomorrow, tension between tradition and digital, a fight between algorithm and intuition, between big and small, between white and black. And when it comes to human being, I am colorblind. There is a struggle between men and women and between women and men. It's a war zone. And like in any war, the lawyers are the only winners. We maybe need sometime, I heard like, I guess we know what we're talking about. When I maybe think that all we have to do sometime is just a new outlook, maybe to look at ourselves again. One time in Laos, I came to the concierge and I told him I'm so bored. There is nothing to see in Laos. An old monk that was standing by said to me, "Sir, if there is nothing to see at Laos, maybe you can look at yourself." I was thinking, what a bitch. And then he continues and said, if you have the courage, wake up at 4 in the morning and you will see that at 4 in the morning, at that early hour, there are so many monks walking barefoot in the poor village and everybody is giving them food and money because in Laos, we start the day giving and not taking. I fell in love with Laos. Instagram. I have a friend that often says, but. Everything she says like with but. Like, I love this dress. It's so beautiful, a bit expensive, but. Then she will be like, I like Joanna. She's such a nice girl, but. And I say, I love internet. I love Instagram, but. I often see all these posts, the ones of the after-show dinners. And I only see tables with flowers, gorgeous bouquet of flowers, but the plates are empty. Why? Why do people say that once designers were better? Like Vionnet was amazing and Madame Gray, oh my God, so talented. Why do people say that once song and singer did a better job? Why? Today designers are good. They are very, very good. And maybe the speed and the system trouble them a little. One thing I don't really understand, in the music world, how did it happen that DJ today are more popular than the musicians themselves? What are we doing, creating or curating? Is it about talent or fame? Is it about working or networking? Is it about packaging or content? And you know what? There are many people who can do packaging. That's part of the business. But when we talk about content, I will say designers and thinkers, that's our job. And in fashion, once we were couturier, then we became designers, later creative directors, and now we are also influencers. Beautiful. Alone in Babylon by Jane Birkin. That song was played this month in a fashion show in Paris. I love the choice, and I respect very much the designer who made this choice. Babylon is a symbol of a mythic city in the Bible, a place where human beings built towers to reach God. They wanted to become God, and they created confusion. I say, yes, we need to build. We need to build higher, and that's great. But we also have to build horizontally, and we also have to build deeper. We can call it today social awareness and blended values. The fisherman. Sometimes I feel like a fisherman. When there is no fish in the ocean, when there are no fish in the ocean, fishermen are busy stitching their nets and repairing their boats. This I heard from you, Julie. Fishermen, like designers, we live in a stormy ocean of the unknown. Big boats move slow, remember that. Speedboats are speedy. I dream about a fisherman boat, like a digital yacht, made of titanium, a yacht with sensors to feel the waves and the wind. Because only when we feel those wind and waves and the windows are open, we can catch a golden fish in the ocean. Master of improvisation. In an article once, Susie Menkes, who I adore, love, and respect, and Susie, if you see me, I love you. She wrote that I was a master of improvisation. I think that today, more than ever, we have to go and be masters, and we have to work on improvisation, because life is full of codes, formulas, database, and algorithm. And overuse of all of those can kill intuition. And intuition is the essence of creation. This is the essence of life itself. Thimble. Do you like it so far? Thimbles. I received a thimble from a woman I adore. It belonged to her mother. Her mother was a seamstress in Auschwitz. She was the best seamstress in the camp. That is what saved her life. And it's always a reminder for me that if we excel, no one can harm us. And you know, this is the thimble of this lady that her daughter gave me. And you know what's the finger we put the thimble, right? This is really the one. 21st century. I read an article written by an economist, an analyst. He said that the 19th century was dominated by Europe, the 20th by USA, and predicted that the 21st century will be led by Asia. But did any analyst predicted that the 21st century will also be led by women? Yes, women around the world, empowering women, equal rights for women. I love that. I always say, and I say it again, that if I was a producer in Hollywood, the new James Bond would be Jane Bond. She doesn't have to be an ex-model, and she doesn't have to have too much silicone on her. But yes, she could be an executive in Silicon Valley. She would be a real, beautiful, and smart woman, and no need to hide her age. Meryl Streep, who presented me with a Superstar of Fashion award in New York City, said that I never tried to transform her, but I helped her to be a better version of herself. I believe that that was what fashion does best. It's dreams, but it's no longer just dreams. It's also about solutions. It's also about solving problems with a dream. All I did the last 2 years was thinking, what do people want? What do they really, really want? And I know I sound like the Spice Girls. I always think that I'm not good enough. You know, this is my motor. This is my drive. This is why I work so hard. This is why I'm a workaholic. You know, when I joined Saint Laurent, I was the first one, actually, that Mr. Saint Laurent chose to be his dauphin. And I remember calling my mother, and I said to her, you know, I signed, we have the contract, blah, blah, blah. And she said to me, that's good. And I said, aren't you happy? She said, Albert, there is one thing that will make me happy, for you to get married. So you see, this is where everything starts, never happy enough. But one thing I know I'm good at, one thing I'm very proud of, that in every place I ever worked, I first created love among people. This is more important to me than one more beautiful dress or one more great collection. Tango love. Tango is a sensual dance. In tango, we close our eyes and we let our partner lead. So tango is also about trust. Sometimes we love, but we don't trust. So love doesn't last. But when we trust, we always love. And love brings love. Food for thought. I'm almost over. A fashion CEO told me once that today we must produce only for the millennials. They are the future. Indeed, we do. Yves Saint Laurent once told me that a woman under 30 doesn't really need designers, only after 30. I love millennials. My niece Maya is a millennial. My neighbors are millennials as well. I'm fascinated by that generation. Today, we cannot sell them anything anymore because today they decide what, where, and when. And hallelujah for that. A fashion insider, CEO, told me that in 2024, there will be 600 million millennials only in China. And that's the future, millennials. And I'm not a math genius, but for every millennials there is also one set of parents, two sets of grandparents, a sister, a brother, a neighbor, a cousin, an uncle, and an aunt. So, on 600 million millennials, there are billions of non-millennials, no? Sure. You know, I don't want to ignore those statistics, but I'm not talking about statistics. I'm talking about people, not about markets. I'm just talking about people. People who need clothes and people who needs people. Now I sound like Barbara Streisand. I was told by another CEO that today we must work only with young people. I'm not talking about age discrimination, you know, that's another thing. But I say that if we combine the vitality, the energy of the young with wisdom and know-how of more experienced people, we can get and create the perfect team. I love CEOs, really, I do. When they are good, they are our best partner because they are the dream makers of the creatives. The best success stories in fashion and in every industry we know and I know is when there is a dialogue between creative and the management. My dream is to find sometime this guy or girl, maybe a girl, that I can dance the tango together. Time is ticking, Imran I know, and I must go. But one more thing for a finale. Love is maybe the most important word, but respect is even more important. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Respect. Respect your loved one. Respect your partners. Respect your CEO. Respect your mother and father. Don't forget to call them. Respect your wife and respect your husband. Respect the universe. But last and not least, respect yourself. And maybe Aretha Franklin said it and sang it better. Ladies and gentlemen, Aretha Franklin.